Welcome to the first of our crochet beginner series. In today's episode we're going to be looking at creating a slip knot and a foundation chain, a staple in crochet to create any crochet project. To get going today I'm going to be using a Marriner Aran yarn in blue and a Marriner crochet hook in a 6mm. To get started on any crochet project you need to create your slip knot. Now to get started on a slip knot there are many ways of doing this, but the way that I like to do it is to hold the yarn in my hand just with my thumb against my fingers. Then I'm going to take the yarn that's attached to the ball and I'm just going to wrap it around my forefinger twice. So it will look like I have 3 loops on my hook, but I've only wrapped it twice. Now I'll take the middle loop here and put it on over the first loop, but still on my finger. The second loop over that first loop, and then I'm going to go back in for that first loop now, which was my second loop to begin with, and pull that up and off my finger to create that knot. Now the slip knot is a movable knot, so if we pull on our tail end of our yarn, it will make that knot smaller, and if we pull on the loop, it can make the knot bigger. So once we have our loop, you can insert your hook into that loop and then just pull it tightly so it fits over, still has some movement in it but fits over the crochet hook. You want to pull it over your crochet hook on the crochet hook itself, not up here, otherwise your loop is going to be too small and your hook won't fit through when you need to pull that loop backwards and forwards. Anything that I'm using in this video can be found on the Marriner website and all the links will be in the description box below. There are so many different ways to hold your yarn as well. I like to put the yarn between my forefinger and my middle finger to create that tension and then hold that loop steady with my ring finger and my thumb. Again, there are so many ways of doing this and it all comes down to preference, so find which way works for you. There's no wrong or right way and go with it. If it's not quite working, try up a different way, but for now this is how I'm going to hold my yarn. So to get started on creating this foundation chain, we need to have our hook facing downwards, so the hook facing the ground, and then we want to put our hook under that yarn. And as we put our hook under that yarn, we turn our hook to face upwards. That way, when we're pulling our hook back, it grabs that yarn and pulls it through the loop on our hook, which is held steady by our thumb and ring finger. Pull it back through there. And we're just going to do that again. So hook facing down towards the ground, under that yarn, turning your hook as you go under, and then pull your hook back to grab that yarn and then pull it through that loop on your hook. And we are creating what is known as a foundation chain. So one more time, hook facing the ground, underneath, turning that hook as you bring it up to catch that yarn, and then bring that back and pull it through the loop. And you can keep going like that to create your foundation chain as long as you need it or as long as you'd like to practice for. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to make my foundation chain a little bit longer so you can see an example of a longer foundation chain, and then you can go ahead and make your own. So I've gone ahead and made my chain a little bit longer, and this is what your chain should be looking like once you have added those extra few chains using the technique that I've just shown you. So it will look like interlinking chains, or V's as I like to see them. If you look at them this way you can see the V's on there, and that will be the start of any crochet project that you create. So as long as you practice this and you've got this, you can start any crochet project. Thank you so much today for joining us. Anything used in this video today can be found on the Marriner website and is linked in the description box below. Please give us a massive thumbs up and subscribe. We'd love to hear what you thought about this tutorial in the comments below. We'll catch up with you again soon.